which is the most in the Premier League by a country mile.
Football Manager.
Without him, they are
5
pretty
live
rotten.
on.
But you
So
think
should have the
if he
results
can come
as they
back into
happen.
fitness before the end of the season, which is expected, then they're a different team. And I think that is the difference, that Fulham don't have a goal scorer in their side, and maybe that's been the difference. You know, the football is as good as it is. I'd go as far as saying if they don't pick up 6 points in these next 2 games, as Jermaine's saying, then they're down. I think it's as simple as that. These are games that they've got to win. There's no draws in this, in the next 2 games. It's got to be happening, considering, the teams around them and who they're playing.
Steve, the last time Newcastle had a massive game at the end of the season, as much as probably what Fulham Newcastle could be, we played Chelsea at home when I was at Sunderland. We lost at home and they lost to Aston Villa away on the final day of the season and went down. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen this year, but...
I was at that game when Newcastle got relegated, actually, at Villa Park. I remember that.
Got Burnley next.
It's funny that, isn't it? Andy, Jermaine, Statman, thank you very much, guys. Lovely to have your company, as always.
Pleasure.
Cheers.
Top stuff. Jermaine Beckford, Statman Dave and Andy Reid, who've been with us on 5 Live Sport this afternoon. We have got full commentary to come in the Premier League. 3 o'clock kickoff. Burnley versus West Brom. We'll be keeping you up to date with all the goals as they go in across the EFL, plus the racing as well. And John Hunt will be keeping us up to date all afternoon.
Yeah, busy afternoon continues. They're about to run the Grand National Trial at Haydock Park. We'll keep our eyes on that. Just had an amazing finish here at Ascot to the Swinley Chase, a handicap over 3 miles. Holding the clear lead over the second last fence was Captain Chaos. He was 12 lengths clear at that stage of a horse called Regal Encore, a veteran chaser, 13-year-old who loves
He's
Ascot.
not the one we want to get rid of, is he?
Or
is he?
Between them. Regal Encore finishing with a real flourish, but the prize going to Captain Chaos.
Is it Olsen we don't want to get rid of?
Dan Skelton and his brother Harry, who does the riding. They enjoyed earlier success today
So
with Midnight River. So lots still to come, Steve, on a brilliant day's racing. As I say, those Grand National hopefuls lining up shortly at Haydock Park, and surname to come here at Ascot just after 3:30.
Let's go back to the Stoop in the Gallagher Premiership. Sonia.
Well, it's Harlequins 24, and I'm being quiet because there's a conversion just being taken now. Harlequins 24, Sale 12. And the first half belonged to the home side in Harlequins. Second half has definitely belonged to Sale because they've now scored 2 quick tries in this second half. That one just by Rob Dupree, benefiting after a 5-metre scrum. Ball came out to him and he went over the fly half in the left corner. The conversion was
Parker _Smurf _1969.
Curtis Langdon went over.
Hi.
After Sale
Easy, mate. How you doing today?
Advantage, and Quins were given a team warning. So it's with what we've got 9 minutes to go. It's Harlequins 24. It's Sale fighting back 12.
Sonia, I'd be terrible at that, at being slightly quiet during a conversion. I think I'd get told off about 10 times.
Yeah, so currently we're running a season with Derby. We're in the 3rd season in the Premier League.
I got very excited because Dylan Hartley was coming back from an injury and he scored in the corner very early.
We've played 1, drawn 1.
On 5 Live, and the entire crowd in front of me turned around and went.
Parker _Smurf _1969.
Note to self.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking, mate.
Tell the producers that you've got something
really
to say.
Good.
Yeah, I've had that at Wimbledon as well. It's just
I was
my
so
voice.
embarrassed. Never again.
Sonia, thank you very much indeed. Just before we go to the news, quick reminder, if you haven't heard it already, search and subscribe that Peter Crouch podcast on BBC
Parker _Smurf _1969.
Series. More build up to come to our
Are you a Derby fan?
Yes, mate, unfortunately.
Irish Wills Gaming.
After the news on 5 Live.
Hi.
Easy, Will. How you doing, matey? Yeah, unfortunately, I am a Derby fan.
On BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio.
Who do you follow, matey?
Irish Gaming.
Steve.
Hi.
Residents in England will be allowed to.
Morning, Andrew. How you doing? Well, good afternoon, Andrew. How you doing, matey?
Confirmed easing of lockdown. Downing Street sources say
Welsh Trucker Paul.
Is their priority. In Scotland, 2 named visitors.
Easy, Paul. How you doing, mate?
From early next month.
Hi, beautiful.
The meeting is expected to be held tomorrow before
Andrew's Gaming.
More of his plan for easing lockdown
good you.
On Monday.
Yeah, I'm doing good at the moment until we play our second game.
In the coming weeks. Insurance companies say they expect to pay out up to
Thank you all for dropping in. Do appreciate it.
Claims made last year. The industry's trade body says the pandemic is likely to be one of the biggest insurance events in recent memory. More than 70 flood warnings.
I'm guessing Kev might have changed. I'm guessing Kev's changed his name.
69.
No, I follow Leeds.
I follow Leeds.
railway lines.
Someone's
in Cornwall
got to,
and parts
mate.
of South Wales have been flooded.
Unfortunately.
And Princess Eugenie and husband Jack Brooksbank have announced the name of their newborn son. He's called August Philip Hawke Brooksbank. A picture of the Queen and Duke of Edinburgh's 9th great-grandchild has also been released by Buckingham Palace.
The voice of tennis. This weekend, the first Grand Slam of 2021 comes to a close.
Fitness test, let's have a look. Brenton, 45 minutes, so we need to put him in the reserve team, I think. Garcia, Jones, Dembele.
The Australian Open Finals this weekend on BBC Radio 5 Live. This is 5 Live Sport.
Do we drop him back in? Give him, he's not fully fit, is he? No, we'll stick to it like this.
West Brom in the Premier League. In the early kick-off at St Mary's, it finished Southampton 1, Chelsea 1. In the Championship, the final score at St Andrews was Coventry 2.
Here we go, first game of the day.
Parker_Smurf_1969. Who is Kev?
No one, mate. I'm just checking something out here.
Gillingham 1, Bristol Rovers 0 with 10 minutes to go. In Scotland, the leaders Rangers and second place Celtic both play tomorrow. There are 4 Premiership matches to keep across this afternoon. Aberdeen, Kilmarnock, Hibs, Hamilton, Motherwell, St Johnstone and St Mirren.
Yeah, that's Kev.
Let's head round our feature grounds in the EFL and we will start at Carrow Road.
You daft twat, you forgot to change your banner, haven't you? So you got Papa Smurf popping up, but it still says Scouts 1969. I'd be a Leeds fan since you support Liverpool, mate.
Welsh trucker Paul. I follow Derby. Parker_Smurf_1969. LOL.
How you doing? Is it going to be in it? Oh no, I thought it might have been an early goal for us. We've got a very young team out here.
City is a potential springboard to survival. Speaking of Warren, the Rotherham manager is a massive Norwich fan. It was quite nice as he spent time with a few of us earlier, socially distanced, of course, reminiscing of his days supporting Norwich.
Come on, get a challenge in, get a challenge in.
And even took the time to tell us of his choice of matchday confectionery that he used to enjoy as a boy. Anything gained here will be very, very sweet for the Rotherham boss in his team's bid.
Oh, play for the win.
He makes 2 changes to the side who lost ball.
Is that a penalty?
One enforced change to Norwich where Christoph Zimmerman replaces Ben Gibson in defence. And that's
Yes, no penalty. The ref's on our side.
13 degrees. I'll be glad to hear of my colleagues packing away their heat.
Why this change? Play for the win, yeah.
And all of those other internet contractions that have been widely lauded over our airwaves over the past few months.
Parker_Smurf_1969. As normal.
Ah, that's good, mate. When did you change your name?
Swansea no doubt with a bit more swagger in their step after seeing Brentford drop points earlier. Not that they need it. 9 unbeaten, 7 of those
See it up with Ad.
possess the championship's meanest defence. 3 points takes them second. I think their manager Steve Cooper was quite generous describing Huddersfield as dangerous. They're the only championship side yet to win this year.
We just can't score. We need that Brenton back. We need an out-and-out goal scorer.
Huddersfield's latest defeat was against Middlesbrough. They're at Reading this afternoon.
Parker_Smurf_1969. Last night, mate, starting to do my own merch soon.
Oh, nice, matey. What, like t-shirts and shit like that, or like coffee cups and bits and bobs? Shit, 1-0 down.
Parker_Smurf_1969. Yes, mate.
He's been in temporary charge of Bournemouth. They're at QPR, the home side enjoying a decent run of late, Jonathan Overend.
Yes, Woodgate's done a terrific job. Remember, Steve, he was elevated to the hot seat just 3 days after arriving as a coach. 3 wins and a draw for him. For a Bournemouth side who was seriously on the slide before that.
It'll be a long goal season for us.
As I understand it, speaking to Bournemouth officials here.
Okay, What do they do? Are they just glasses?
As advanced as some places are making out, and that it's not a one-horse race either. So it'll be very interesting to see who else is potentially in contention.
1-0 down. We have been the better team, more shots, controlling the game.
Jonathan Woodgate is in contention. If they keep winning, maybe that will change. He recalls Long and Wilshire and Mepham today. David Brooks is injured with an ankle problem. QPR's season has got going, hasn't it, since the turn of the year? They've won their last 3 and they're unchanged.
As we've been discussing this afternoon, Bristol City also
Let's have a look, actually.
after Dean Holden's sacking this week. Assistant head coaches Paul Simpson and Keith Downing are in charge for the visit of a Barnsley side looking to make it 3 wins on the spin at Ashton Gate for 5 Live Sport.
I put James in from Liverpool.
Yes, this will be Bristol City's first game.
We'll leave it like that for a little bit.
Owner Stephen Lansdowne told fans last night that he's got around 12 names on a list as they search for a replacement.
Come on, lads. Come on.
Wigan boss Paul Cook, Lincoln City manager Michael Appleton, and the former Bournemouth boss Eddie Howe have also been mentioned. But whoever does come in have a big job on their hands, as Bristol City have lost their last 6, dropping them down to 14.
On the counter attack, on the counter. Greedy bastard. I think I'm going to have to change this formation about a little bit.
Just 1 win in 13 championship matches has left Birmingham in the relegation zone. Pressure mounting.
Jones, yes. Curtis Jones on loan for Liverpool. We've had him for the last 3 seasons on loan.
Separated by goal difference, both in the drop zone, both know a win could lift them above that dreaded bottom line come 4:50. Wednesday change 3, Matt Penny, Liam Palmer,
I think that's going to have to do us to.
2 changes for Aitor Karanka's visitors. Jeremy Bella and Ivan Sanchez return.
There we go. Can we pull it back? No, can we get a win? We deserve a win.
That's the championship, our feature game in League 1C. Second place Hull City travel to Doncaster, who are 5th. Good afternoon, Betty Glover.
Good afternoon, Steve. Now, lots of chat here over whether this is a derby or not. Maybe it isn't, but it is a big game.
You're looking forward to the Liverpool game later, mate?
Automatic promotions, you know what, I'll take it. Now, Hull have been a bit wobbly.
Oh, no.
Until Wednesday, when they had that massive 5-0 win over Wigan, so it'd be unfair if I didn't say they come into this.
No, not another penalty.
From that game, and I don't blame them either. Now, these two sides were level on points a couple of weeks ago, but win today and Hull could open up a solid 7-point gap over Doncaster, which would be ideal for
Papa_Smurf_1969. Yes, mate, will do.
Leaders Cambridge are at Mansfield, second place Forest Green, and 5th place Newport tomorrow. Will be with
Yes. Super keeper. Oh, good. Can't attack him.
Michael Duff's side top if current leaders Cambridge lose at Mansfield. But what a transformation from Bradford City.
Oh, we need to get a win. Come on, lads. Yes. Super sub.
Thank you very much, Lawrence.
Need that. Come on. We've dropped it to balance.
What a brave winner though there, Steve.
Go on, Knight. Play it out.
He's got a Grand National entry as well. He'll be sure to go on April the 10th.
Jones out wide. Knight into the super sub gets his second. Got to praise my team now. Look at that.
In possession, and they're playing on, but it does look like Queens are going to take the spoils for a fourth win on the spin. This, remember, a side with no head coach since Paul Gustard's departure. They're rejuvenated. A strong first half did the damage with 3 tries, 2 scored by John Richards. The Foster Boys are really
That's straight back in it. Typical derby, that is.
Ruled them out. Quins, it will go third. Mounting a challenge in the Derby Premiership. It's 24-12, Quins Sale.
Thank you very much, Sonia. There's 2 games that kick off at 3 o'clock. Leicester Tigers against Wasps. Exeter also top of the table. They're up against Northampton. We're at Welford Road. Topsy Ojo is going to be keeping an eye on it all for us.
It's Welford Road Stadium. We've got the Midlands Derby.
Go on, come on.
2 teams really trying to hit their straps this season after slow starts. Managing in mid-table. Really looking to rediscover the form.
Take that. First win. 1-0 down. Put it back to 1-0. Saved the penalty.
Champions Exeter, like you say, looking to go back to the top of the table ahead of Bristol's game tomorrow. They've got in-form Scotland captain Stuart Hogg straight back in the team, so they'll be looking to him for some inspiration. Both games kick off at 3 o'clock.
Garbella Cup against Villa. We're going to put a young team out against for this game. We don't really care.
Live Sports Extra. Back to the football. Mason Mount's second half penalty earned Chelsea
Not for scouting.
at Southampton in the early kickoff. Thomas Tuchel's been speaking with Jonathan Pearce.
We did want Longstaff.
Are you because you had so much possession, Thomas, and going away 1-1?
Yeah, not only possession, but good possession in the opponent's half, and we had a lot of quality in the first 80 meters of the pitch. But in the last 20 meters, we lacked quality today.
Let's see what kind of money we got. But then again, we've got Campbell coming back, haven't we?
Determination, aggressiveness.
We've got 26 million. We ain't got enough. They want about 30 mil for him.
More and better chances because everything was there. We controlled 80 meters of the pitch. We controlled all counter-attacks. I'm very, very happy with the overall performance, but in the last 20 meters count, and it is getting decisive there. And when you control a match like this and you need a penalty to score, then you see that the problem is clear in this game.
You said you decisive.
What, Villa in the cup?
Yeah. Is that in decision making as well? Some of the decisions taken wrong.
Yeah, I think we ended almost every chance ourselves.
Emil.
There was no need to save balls. There was
Have
no
you
need
checked
to
Sulemana or Sima?
spectacular defending. We
I haven't, mate. I'll have a look at them now.
By wrong decisions, by slipping.
I am out of the.
Too hard, by playing them too short.
We have got this young Carmelo out at Lincoln.
Wrong guy in the wrong moment, by not turning.
Let me have a look at these now then.
Overall, it was not
We'll go for the short one first.
And we were there a lot of times. First half we missed the touches in the box. Second half we had more touches in the box. The reaction was very, very good after being 1 goal down. Still, there are enough chances to score a second one, but we lack precision.
You tried from the bench, you made the changes.
Yeah.
Callum Hudson-Odoi came on at half-time and then you took him off again.
I think this guy's going to be a bit of a pain in the arse to find, ain't he?
And I was not happy with his attitude against the ball. When we had ball losses, I had the feeling that
I'm going to struggle with that one. Let's try some.
To have from him, so it was a hard decision today on him. Tomorrow is forgotten.
Very honest. Thomas Tuchel there speaking to Jonathan Pearce after Southampton won. Chelsea won means Chelsea could end the weekend in 6th position, and for Southampton it ends that awful run of 6 straight defeats in the Premier League. That behind you is the sound of Turf Moor. Our full commentary from the Premier League, the 3 o'clock kickoff, Burnley versus West Brom, with Ali Bruceball and Pat Nevin. And Pat, we've just been talking about Fulham and their survival hopes and how they've worked their way back into it. If there's any hope for West Brom, they need to find it now.
Probably needed to find it last week, but you're right. Yeah, they have to put some sort of run together. It's going to be very difficult.
There's no results for him. I am playing on Xbox, so we have only got 5 of the what's it called listed. 5 countries.
It's impossible, and if anyone can get it sorted, it's we shall see if it starts today.
This is our squad.
Alongside Ali, all yours.
Thank you, Steve. Here's a stat then that emphasises the size
of
the task
tactics. That's what I wanted to look at
West
first.
Bromwich Albion. 14 games to go. No team in the history of the Premier League, going back to the 92-93 season, has had fewer than 16 points at this stage of the season and survived relegation. West Brom start today on 13 points. This is the 12th game under Sam Allardyce's stewardship, and they have had the one win so
I want to
far,
put Jones back in.
away at Wolves. The fixture list is looking a little kinder. Burnley here at Turf Moor today. Then
He's alright to switch out with Jones, ain't he?
Brighton, Everton and Newcastle before going to
Emilio.
Crystal Palace. It is a mighty task. They're looking
What position are you looking for?
Well, the transfer window is shut at the moment, but I am looking for a young striker. I've got this Garcia, who's not a bad young striker at the moment.
Making their way from the car park on a school sports
And
day, heading their way into Turf Moor as the Burnley players in the claret and blue have appeared from the tunnel. The rain has disappeared, but the wind is still blowing. I think in terms of the football, Pat, we know what to expect this afternoon, and I'm not saying that tongue-in-cheek. This is going to be a good old-fashioned Premier League game of football.
let's try him as an advanced forward.
They are. People who want to get the ball down and play, it's going to be very, very hard for them.
I know we're going to have better advanced forwards. He's still up there though. Brenton, Garcia. Brings Garcia in it a little bit more.
Don't get balls into the box, so you're closing down everywhere. But there's a number of players I want to see playing here. I mean, Conor Gallagher is a player I really enjoy watching.
So we're going to put a second team out for this game. And then we've got Arsenal game after.
What Sam's done to that team, it's almost the whole central area. Diagne, Gallagher, Maitland-Niles, Koslu. It's a very different central core of the team that he's put across there. As for Burnley,
Dwight Gale's gone to Morecambe for a season.
They very, very rarely change from 4-4-2. Let's see if they do it today. I think it might be the sensible thing to do, to go to 4-3-1-2.
Okay, Wooden Barnes
next match only. It should still be quite a strong team.
We knew about Ashley Barnes has scored a couple of goals recently, but is out injured. So Matej Vidra starts. The two teams have swapped ends. Results so far
Emilio.
in the football today up and down the land. Another
Liam Delap, Patson Darkar, Brenner, Yuri Alberto, Macias.
Yeah, I've had a look at some of them, mate. Because I'm in my third season, the prices are unbelievable at the moment.
Take the knee here at Turf Moor. Mike Dean back in charge, having had a week off Premier League duties, having had to report death threats that he received on social media.
Yeah, the price is like Liam Delap. They want over 100 million for. I'm just going to try my youngsters out, see how they do.
Massive game for West Brom here this afternoon. Full commentary on BBC Radio 5 Live and the World Service. You can also get us on the BBC Sounds app if you haven't done that before. Makes it nice and easy to listen to us on the move. Burnley playing from right to left towards the tall two-tiered Jimmy McElroy standing claret and blue, and Charlie Taylor, their left back in the short sleeves, gets ready to take a throw. Ben Mee's back in at centre-back. Josh Brownhill's come into the midfield, and Matej Vidra, who makes his first attempt at a cross, a bouncing ball. He's hoisted it high and behind for a goal kick. Comes in for Ashley Barnes. Kevin Long drops to the bench.
This should still do the job, I reckon.
Is out injured for Burnley. Two changes for West Brom. Darnell Furlong in at right back, and Matt Phillips in for the injured.
Oh no, wrong way.
Long time since I've sat in this position, climbing the steep steps to the back of the James Hargreaves stand at Turf Moor, and I've
So I think
view is, Pat, across the Pennines. That is lovely.
That should be all right.
Yes, I think we could call it.
Goal kick for West Brom from Sam Johnston, driven down the right-hand side of the field. Charlie Taylor thought it took a flick off a teammate, so he's going to keep it in play in the left-back position. First goal in the 3 o'clock kickoff's gone in League Two, and it's Walsall who've scored it. Stevenage 0, Walsall 1. Small matter, Pat, of a Merseyside derby on the way this afternoon as well.
Should be an exciting one. Recently did the game between Everton and Spurs, the 5-4 game, which reminded me back to the 4-4 game between Everton and Liverpool.
We've gone for our second team.
Kicking off at 5:30 this evening. Updates and sports report. And 6:06. Ben Mee back in this Burnley team had to sit out the Fulham game in midweek because of the concussion protocols. Nick Coburn in
That's a bad start. That is a bad start. Is that an equaliser? Oh no, it's a save.
Rodriguez had a little bit of a push, but yes, one-dimensional play at the moment, not getting the ball very much.
Attacking wise, we should have enough.
Reporters at 6 Championship games this afternoon, so plenty of updates coming from them. Free kick for West Brom from Sam Johnston. Burnley backpedaling, heads it away. The ball is loose on the edge of the Burnley area. Rodriguez clears with his head, tripped there. I think, yes it was, from Ashley Westwood. Concedes the free kick, and this could cause problems.
Come on, lads. Come on, Jones.
Just over 25 yards out from goal, Mateus Pereira will certainly fancy this for West Brom.
We have come back into the game, I reckon.
In these conditions, if you catch it right, it will get a little bit of movement if you hit it the right way, but also the wind's going to help it as well to confuse the goalkeeper. Suggesting is
Just need someone to put the ball in the back of the net. Or just counter attack. No, it should be alright. Yeah, counter attack. Shit.
Sees them leading Preston by a goal to nil. Oldham 1-up away to one of Pat's former clubs, Tranmere, and Northampton 1-up away to MK Dons in League One. Charlie Taylor is tackled. Just about got that out by Furlong. Throw in Burnley on the left.
He's actually been the one player who's got on the wing so far. Taylor getting up left back, obviously, but he's getting forward as much as he possibly can. And on this occasion, he's just going to especially maybe try and go along with it, possibly not. But not much wing play going on in this game so far. Everything's back to front.
Jack Cork tripped, free kick for Burnley. Early chance to threaten West Brom with the set piece. Let's go through the Burnley team before they take it. Nick Pope in goal, back forward.
Oh, come on, Garcia.
And Taylor, very familiar ring to that. Josh Brownhill into the midfield alongside Cork, Westwood and McNeil, Rodriguez and Vidra up front. West Brom team calling in a second. Scunthorpe 1, Harrogate 0. As Burnley prepare to take this free kick, and it comes in from Westwood into the near post.
Oh shit, counter attack. I know.
Sam Johnston, warm welcome to our listeners around the world on the BBC World Service. We're sitting here at Turf Moor, Pat Nevin and I, and we are watching Burnley against West Bromwich Albion in the Premier League. 5 minutes in, and it's 0-0.
It is, and exactly.
Oh shit, defending again.
We're getting exactly what we expected. Almost that's a classic. One goalkeeper kicks a ball.
Save.
The other goalkeeper, there is a notation saying this, the ball will have to be taken to hospital at the end of the game. So far, that's a bit like the way it feels.
There's another one from Tarkowski down the inside right channel, nodded down by Kyle Bartley.
Come on, lads.
The West Brom left back trying to clear under pressure here from Jay Rodriguez. Couple of tackles from him. West Brom have a throw in the left back position. Early stages at Carrow Road. Norwich playing Rotherham. Aaron Paul.
Norwich 0, Rotherham 0, and fabulous chance of vistas that Lewis Wing swinging the corner in towards the near post. It looked like it was heading in, but there was Tim Krul to scramble and palm it away to safety. Norwich 0, Rotherham 0.
Grant Ledbetter scored early for Sunderland away to Burton Albion in League One. Burton 0, Sunderland 1. Throw in Burnley. Wide on the right. Talking old-fashioned football. Just having a little look back at the local pitch after this game. Two founder members of the Football League we're watching here played each other the very first season as Jay Rodriguez chases a ball down the right. I think he kept that in by the byline. Gets the cross in. No, he didn't quite. Furlong clears it. Would have been for a corner, but eventually the assistant referee raises his flag. And West Brom hit the ball. So, Pat, you only lived 133 years ago. In November 1888, Burnley played West Bromwich Albion here and beat them by 2 goals to 0.
Come on. Oh, this is a mile offside.
Massive changes, but they have lasted a long time. Football is very different then.
We're not going to change out.
We've seen here so far. No, it's not to take anything away from the game. Look, this is the style that works for both teams that they're playing just now.
We're playing for the win.
For 3 passes. That's considered intricate play so far. It's so, there's been free kicks, ball basically lumped into the box. maybe that's just the way it started off, but it really is very, very old school. Partly it's conditions, partly it's just the style that both managers have asked their teams to play today.
Yeah, Sean Dyche against Sam Allardyce. Free kick West Brom. As Pat says, it's been very stop-start. Mike Dean has, quite rightly, given all the free kicks he's needed to, and this is another one for West Brom, midway inside the Burnley half.
Give Garcia a full run out, actually.
Gallagher runs over it. Pereira curls it into the far post. Drops down here inside the penalty area. Hoisted back up towards that far post. Barkley jumps. Difficult for Burnley to get away. Jack Cork eventually does that. West Brom have it again. Oh, and there's a long.
Come on, come on. Oh, off the post.
Today are those that are taking the corner kicks and the free kicks as well. With a very good ball in just a few moments ago on the left hand side there. Brownhill is capable of Ashley Westwood on that occasion. Had a great ball in from the left hand side, and Pereira for West Brom, he's very capable as well.
Ball floated over the top towards Vidra, headed away by Ajayi. Here's Townsend for West Brom, clears with his left foot. I'm aware I've not given you the West Brom lineup as yet. I'll do that in just a second. Still Burnley 0, West Brom 0. Jack Cork trying to keep his footing on the edge of the West Brom area, surrounded by opposition players. Cross comes in from Lowton towards Rodriguez. Great chance, heads it wide.
Looks like we're going out the cup.
For a goal kick.
I think the wind has not helped him there. The ball was zipped into very, very good area. He's thrown himself at it. I think he was expecting it to be caught up slightly in the way. It wasn't. It almost took to go a little bit quicker as he went past him. What a flip into it. St Mirren in the Scottish Premiership, and Crewe 1-up away to Swindon, currently in that relegation zone. Swindon in League One. Burnley 0, West Brom 0. Sam Johnston's actually gone short with the goal kick, worked it well. Ball is played down the left for Matt Phillips to chase, and tackled. Throwing West Brom.
Oh, Carmelo's got. Oh no, he got injured. It looked like he was on form and all.
West Brom to take the throw in quickly.
He's my striker we got out on loan. I don't know where to bring him back.
Ball forward, nicely laid off here by Vidra. Then played wide by McNeil to Rodriguez. Good movement from McNeil back towards Rodriguez. Gets on the ball. Just runs down that inside right channel. Tries to thread it back through to Rodriguez on the edge of the box. Couldn't find him. And West Brom bring it away with Conor Gallagher, who Pat was mentioning before the game. Young man on loan from Chelsea. Ball down the left with Dianya to chase. Not been able to get involved in the game just yet.
After this game, I'm just going to make a quick coffee for the wife. Go back from work. Yeah, we're going out to Villa. Oh no, wait, there might be one more chance. Yeah, for them.
Much of the first 5 or 10 minutes are going to make it for much of the day tonight. It's really hard to put it. Now, you mentioned it earlier on that the wind is just very blustery. You know, 1 minute you think it's going 100 miles an hour one way, and then suddenly the ball doesn't hold up at all. So I think that's why the players are partially the reason why they are going wrong.
Oh, what are you going for a shot like that for?
Difficult for the likes of Conor Gallagher, who wants to get the ball down the court. But every game of football that's ever been played, at some point, space will arrive, and that's when you get a chance to get the ball down a little bit. So far, very little of that.
Carlisle
Broken for 3-4 more.
League 2, Salford 0, Carlisle 1. West Brom trying to get the ball down on the halfway line. Space opening up a little bit for Darnell.
Got Arsenal next game.
Took it away from him. He was going to chest that ball down, and it just sped up in mid-air and flew beyond him and went out for the throw. I think the answer to your match of the day question, Pat, it'll depend on what the rest of the 85 minutes are like compared to the first 5 minutes.
It's not dreadful, but it's just so bitty. You know, there's no passes really. I mean, 2 or 3 passes constitutes a move. You know, they're doing the famous one ball move, one pick move at the moment, just from back to front all the time. But you're absolutely right. You have to understand it won't look like it in TV pictures, but it's really hard conditions.
Flick on from Rodriguez to Vidra, 2 former West Brom strikers up against their former employer this afternoon. Vidra's tackled on the corner of the box. Rodriguez behind him, gets the ball tangled between his feet, and it goes out for a throw into West Brom in the right back position. And bottom line, actually, Pat, is if you're I think particularly a West Brom fan, if you come away from here with a really ugly
Has someone been sold?
You will not care a jot.
You will definitely not care a jot, and for many, many years, that's what Sam Allardyce has managed to do.
We did have him for short term. Wishing we kept him now for cover.
Well, Cheltenham have gone 8 matches unbeaten in League Two, but it's Bradford City also in excellent form have taken the lead. Corner on the far side from Elliot Watt, and on the far post, Andy Cook headed home. Cheltenham 0, Bradford City 1.
I think I'm right in saying that stadium is now called the World of Wild Stadium, which seems very apt for where we are sitting and what we're watching this afternoon. 15 minutes played, just under actually.
It's not even
been.
Oh.
Burnley 0, West Brom 0. Burnley taking a free kick inside their own half. Swindon have equalised against Crewe. And we're going to start rattling around the grounds of our featured games in just a second once we see what Burnley can do with this. Going backwards at the moment, so let's check in at
Derby faced if yeah.
It remains Norwich 0, Rotherham 0. Rotherham with that early chance direct.
Of Arsenal?
Norwich has
Where
a couple
are
of
they?
chances. Mario Vrancic
1-1
and
lost
Temu
one.
Pukki both firing wide. Norwich 0, Rotherham 0.
Up near the top of the table, Swansea with a chance to make a move this afternoon away to Huddersfield. Tom Gale.
0-0, Ali. Pretty much one-way traffic so far, though. It's the visitors in their gorgeous navy.
So we've got Dumbelli, he's out.
Bossing things. Andre Ayew digging a shot from out of his feet, drawing a neat save from academy product Ryan Schofield. That's the closest we've come. It's Huddersfield 0, Swansea 0.
Gale being a very apt surname as well, given the conditions here at Turf Moor. Sahel Sahi watching Reading.
There we go.
Same here as well, Alisson. 0-0, 12 minutes played, scrappy start from both sides. One opportunity though for Reading. Elise Turinamosa just outside the area. His right foot shot was just wide off the mark. Reading 0, Middlesbrough 0.
Next stop is Hillsborough. These two in the relegation zone at the moment. Sheffield Wednesday and Birmingham. Naz Premji.
Sheffield Wednesday 0, Birmingham 0. Ali, 14 uneventful minutes. Couple of dangerous free kicks for Wednesday came to nothing. Nothing of note for Birmingham from an attacking point of view. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Birmingham 0.
Still Burnley 0, West Brom 0. West Brom attacking down the left-hand side. And a challenge.
Yeah, we're going to go for it.
Brom. Jonathan Overend is at Loftus Road watching QPR Bournemouth. Jonathan.
0-0. Gorgeous West London sunshine here. You'll be delighted to hear, Alistair. Bournemouth having a lot of the early possession. Good chance for them through Philip Billing. Although they are playing 4 players who've all played defensive central midfield in the middle today. So perhaps creativity might be a problem with Long up front on his own. 0-0.
Closest we've come to a goal here seconds ago from Darnell Furlong. West Brom's right back was just curled a left-footed effort beyond the post. Nick Pope will tell us he would have had it covered. Ashton Gate next. Katie Shanahan's watching Bristol City against Barnsley.
Well, it's also still 0-0, and I don't know how Barnsley haven't just scored. Michael Hellick has just blazed over from about 5 yards out. All it needed was a tap-in at the far post. Connor Chaplin has also had a crack, though managerless. Bristol City are holding on against Barnsley. Still 0-0 here.
Go on. He's got. Oh, yes! Well played, lads. I thought he fucked it first with the volley. It looks like we're bossing it.
There we go. Goal at Carrow Road, Aaron Paul.
You know what that music means. It's a goal for Norwich City. They have sliced Rotherham apart. A ball probably halfway inside the Norwich half. That's just gone diagonal across the pitch. Temu Pukki making the run. He ran in towards goal and slotted past Johansson in the Rotherham net. Norwich 1, Rotherham 0.
Thank you, Aaron. Throwing for Burnley. They're trying to work something down the right-hand side here. Luton onto it. Finds Jack Cork inside the penalty.
Excuse me.
16 minutes played, 0-0. As you said, set pieces, corners, free kicks for the Users.
Oh, he's cut him open. He's cut him open. Torre. Yes. Jude against Arsenal. Good ball, lads.
Jack Corner comes in, swinging in the air. Johnston in black, the West Brom keeper, punches it away. Knocked back into the edge of the box and nodded down here. Cleared away, hacked away by Diagne, desperately needed to do that, but gets it away to the halfway line. Ball up in the air again. Volleyed forward by Brownhill with his right foot. Townsend is underneath it and knocks it high into that Bob Lord stand over the head of Sean Dyche and out for a Burnley throw on the right.
Yep, to be honest, there's only one ball that's actually reached the top of the Bob Lord stand so far and actually stayed on the roof for a little while. I would not put any money against a ball going over that at some point today. Again, those conditions are actually, I think they're getting worse, honestly, because it is the wind, you know. Some players are trying to get it down, they're trying to play a little bit, but playing decent passes over 3 or 4 yards, you know, they're just going to hit everywhere. And no one's able to control the ball at the moment, and until that wind comes down, the wind depending on who's going to.
Probably hear it on the microphones as well. I opted for the beanie hat just to keep warm this afternoon.
Oh, we should be smashing these.
Gallagher's in, Gallagher wins the tackle, Taylor comes flying in, a little late.
Didn't want to do this, but we're going to have to. Can't be without him for the rest of the season. Challenge.
Yeah, just over a quarter hour here at Mattioli Wood, Welford Road, and it is Leicester 8, Wolves 0. Leicester with an early captain drive try from Jasper Wiese, who started like a train this afternoon, followed up by a Zach Henry penalty. So it's Leicester 8, Wolves 0, and in the other game, it's Exeter 0, Northampton 7. Another captain drive try. Sean Adendorf.
Can't really change out. I've got to change the back line.
Northampton saved 7.
Thank you, Harlequins beating Sale by 24 points to 12. We heard from Sonny McLaughlin in the early kick-off in the Gallagher Premiership today.
Oh, yes, baby. This is not going to be 4-0, is it? Surely not.
He pings the lovely diagonal wide to the right-hand side, looking for Vidra on the edge of the area. The pass is just behind Vidra, and it will run away.
Double save.
There's Mateus Pereira, went for the little roulette spin where the player puts one foot on the ball and then spins and uses the other foot to take it around the opponent. He was fouled in so doing, but advantage played by Mike Dean. The ball is back with Sam Johnston, who clears with his right foot, slides it slightly. Taylor lets it float over his head inside his own half of Burnley with his left foot, drives it high down that left-hand touchline. Vidra jumps, hits it in field. Ajayi is there and plays it back to Johnston. Rodriguez chases the West Brom keeper, who plays it out of his penalty area for Townsend on the left, tries to work the ball down the left, it's blocked. And Sean Dyche applauds the press throwing to West Brom.
The press is constant.
Oh yeah, I had to make the sub early on, didn't I?
Ranger curling effort, almost got that right, goes flying over the top of the crossbar and behind for a Burnley goal kick. Stoke 1, Luton 0. Nick Powell has scored for Stoke City in the Championship. Aberdeen 1, Kilmarnock 0. Julia Farrington was telling me some very interesting fact before the game. You're talking about the ball sitting on top of the Bob Lord stand. You don't believe an expensive item like that up there. So
We've been absolutely on fire.
Premier League match ball of the season. This one apparently has been designed to reflect the intensity of the season's finale. Does that sound like marketing speak to you?
Well, I thought that. I looked that way when I come out, you know, when he's telling the ball is lobbed, thumped about 80 yards in the air. I think it's helped.
Oh, now then, West Brom won it on the halfway line. Diagne could be played in, little back heel to Pereira.
keeper's on fire.
He is making a little bit of a change now, Pereira. When he gets on the ball, he actually slows it down. He has a look around him. That's 2 attempts in target he's had in the last few minutes.
Absolutely ram-jammed 6-yard box and the Burnley end. Corner here for West Brom. Nick Pope is just surrounded by players of both teams. This one's coming right in under his crossbar. Now it's going deeper. It's headed away, and there's been a goal at the Medeski Stadium. Sahel San.
Surprise lead for Middlesbrough. Reading 0, Middlesbrough 1. The goal coming after 22 minutes. It was a crossfield ball from right to left, not cleared by the home side's defence. It fell to Ashley Fletcher, 8 yards away.
3-0 against Arsenal. We'd take it every day.
Huddersfield as well. Tom Gale. This one also not going to the form guide area. Huddersfield 1, Swansea 0. The ball's cut back to the penalty spot. Fraser Campbell, I think it comes off his shin, bobbles in off the post. He won't care. 6th goal of the season is Huddersfield 1, Swansea 0. Cross comes in from Westwood to Burnley to the near post, and the header is powerful from Bradley, but he couldn't get it on target. And it goes behind for the goal kick. United have just picked up on the game to play the National League. The work it has done, Pat, to remind me that 606 is in its usual slot this evening. 6 till 8.
Save again. The keeper cannot be beat. Take that. Look at that, top of the Premier League.
Whole goal there, Pat. You were shaking your head at it was a Lowton ball, wasn't it? Just smashed down the right.
Yeah, no, and it's
8 days to go to United and beat them.
Position of maximum opportunity, but so
let's have a look at this quickly though.
For years, but it's really just one idea: get the ball down.
So we can play down the centre.
Ball clipped into the
Secondly, so we could offer him out for sale.
West Brom 0. Pereira.
We'll have to see.
Inside, finds Niles in his white boots on loan from Arsenal at the moment at West Brom. Conor Gallagher to his left. Burnley continuing to press and
we can play all over. He's just fucking. He's just a beast.
We have our feature race on the way at 3:35 this afternoon from Ascot. Latest though from there comes from John Hunt.
Yes, surname is the 5-4 favourite to win that. Can he return to the brilliance of 2019? Talking of brilliance, Ali, we have just seen a fantastic performance at Wincanton. The Kingwell Hurdle, a champion hurdle trial, won by 25 lengths by a horse called Goshen, who's trained by Gary Moore, ridden by his son Jamie. You may remember the horse. He tripped himself up when likely to win at the Cheltenham Festival last year. This summer on the flat he's been poor. His run at Cheltenham at Christmas was really poor. This was a big day for him. Goshen's passed his champion hurdle test with flying colours. An exhilarating winner, Goshen, at Wincanton in the Kingwell Hurdle.
Thank you, John. Back with you in about 20 minutes or so. Morecambe have scored away to Barrow. Barrow 0, Morecambe 1. And here at Turf Moor, shooting opportunity for West Brom. Clumsy challenge from Josh Brownhill, Pat.
Yeah, and he's only like inches outside the 18-yard line there. Takes Maitland-Niles probably about waist height. Takes him out of the play. He didn't mean it.
Oh, we've been knocked off the top by Norwich of all teams.
It'd be hard to get it up and over, but it isn't.
Oh no, United are top now.
So there's a little chance he could get this one up and over.
Again, Mateus Pereira looks like he fancies this. Diagnew is involved in the conversation, but the big centre forward has moved away. Burnley 0, West Brom 0. Curler from Pereira couldn't get it over the wall, and it's headed away, and Conor Gallagher has to turn on his heel and chase that for West Brom. They keep it in play. The ball is knocked back to the halfway line. Suddenly a one-on-one. The ball's given away, and Vidra thought he was in behind Ajayi. Burnley are appealing for a handball. Mike Dean says no. Could have been a potential red card. West Brom then take it straight back down the other end of the field. Matt Phillips can't control it on the edge of the box.
They've got to be looking at that. They've got to be looking at it. I immediately thought that was a handball, and there was nobody between him and the goal.
No, it's right. Vidra was away and beyond Ajayi. If it had not hit him, Taylor's low cross into the West Brom area. Ajayi is there this time with a big right foot and clears the ball. Doesn't go out for a throw. Jack Cork keeps it in play for Burnley.
Injuries.
Equalised at Scunthorpe. It's 1-1. McNeil's cross.
I forgot it's that point of the season, ain't it?
From Ajayi on Rodriguez, just to stop him from getting to that cross.
Got to look at this now. Got to look at this now. He's listening. Mike Dean's listening just now. You know, the ball's flicked through. We're going to have a look at it here. He's got. Oh, that's.
Well,
he can't get away with that, surely. That's a clear handball.
Possible red card comes over the tannoy at Turf Moor. The interesting thing, Pat, is that Ajayi has his arm down by his side, but you and I both reacted the same way. He's moving his hand to the ball, and Mike Dean.
Let's look at his contract. Has he got a release clause?
Premier League recently, and having had both overturned.
Yeah, 42.
We know the way this one might go.
So let's offer him a new contract.
With my eyes, I thought it was sending off.
He still wants 42.
And it actually looks worse the second time. Denial of a goal scoring opportunity, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's a handout, and he stopped it clean with his hand, and that's, you know.
No, but offer him a new contract then, is there?
Worried sick at the moment. He could certainly be in big trouble just now.
Huge moment in the game. We're approaching the half-hour mark at Turf Moor. It's 0-0, and Mike Dean is taking deep breaths. He's sent all of the West Brom players away who are trying to plead Ajayi's case. The incident happened just over the halfway line, just inside the West Brom half. Vidra knocks the ball past Ajayi. He runs into it, and it looks like he moves his hand towards it. It definitely hits his hand. It looks like hand to ball, and it looks like, well, Mike Dean is talking here to Michael Oliver, the video assistant referee. He blows his whistle. He comes back. He's going to change his decision. He's coming onto the pitch here. He calls Ajayi over. He reaches
there we go. Batteries are fully charged.
Semi Ajayi off. The denial of a clear goal-scoring opportunity. West Brom in desperate trouble in the relegation zone in the Premier League. Are down to 10 men with an hour to play at Turf Moor. Pat Nevin.
But that's not a difficult decision to make 99.9% of the time. But you're Mike Dean, and you're doing it now. He's got to be brave to do that, and he's been brave to do that. And do you know what, Mike Dean? You've got it right, mate. I
changing with batteries.
I could not imagine any other decision being made there. He's made the right one.
Another goal at the Medeski Stadium, Sahel Sahi.
And another for Middlesbrough. Reading 0, Middlesbrough 2, and once again poor defending from the home side.
Let's see how long we'll last.
Mark Bowler, edge of the area, left foot shot. Past the Reading goalkeeper.
There we go. Just sorry about that. Just changing batteries over. So we've got United next. Come on, Derby.
West Brom can have any complaints about the decision, but you're right, Pat. Big call for Mike Dean to make, considering what he's been through, considering he's had 2 of his decisions.
So yeah, we're going to stick with the same team. We've got an injury, Garcia. Can't really change it, can we?
To get it right.
Honestly, the stick he would have got had he not made that decision would have been very. And of course, it had to happen to him today. He had to have one of those big calls to make about sending off. This team is actually better.
Dwight McNeil comes dancing in from the left-hand side. Great opportunity he sends for Burnley. West Brom fancy something on the counter here. The Brazilian Mateus Pereira in his blue boots. Nice little pass to Matt Phillips. Good challenge on him by Lowe.
We've got him. We've got him.
Rodriguez starts to make a run for Burnley. Behind Carl Bartley. Bartley saw him coming, had it covered. Then the offside flag goes up late. So West Brom will get the free kick, and they're going to make an early substitution to deal with the sending off. And poor old Matt Phillips is going to have to make way. And Dara O'Shea will come on for West Brom, the 21-year-old centre-back. So no surprise that from Sam Allardyce. West Brom down to 10 men. Burnley 0, West Brom 0. What's happening at Loftus Road? Jonathan Overton.
Well, to keep on here at Bournemouth now, a couple of good chances for the visitors. Shane long through, running round, but Diane was out smartly to block him. Begovic, the other one, was almost embarrassed when Charlie Austin charged down his crews, but so far it's keep on more Bournemouth now.
Rodriguez tackled strongly on the half.
Looks like it's been a pretty stalemate game.
West Brom with Maitland Niles. It's the ball right on the left-hand side. Townsend goes speeding out. So he gets the cross in, and Diane's not really there. He wasn't in the right position to get on the end of it. That was actually a decent ball. Nick Pope then slings it out with his right arm. Neil's
Second half, we're going to play for the win. Oh, he's already been booked. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, it'll definitely be over a ton anyway.
You're right.
It's got to be well over 100 quid, I bet you.
Brucey says higher.
I'd say 125.
Oh, he's nailed it almost to the pound. 124 pounds, Pat.
That was a guess, but I've not got one, I'll be honest with you.
No, nor have I. And if my 8-year-old son Rory is listening, we're not getting one anytime soon either, until they bring out the next one, and this one becomes a little bit cheaper. But Juliet
3 at the back.
The balls they were using to warm up, though. There were 17 of them, so I got the calculator. That's £2,000 worth of footballs being used in one half of the pitch in the warming. 12 minutes to go in this.
In that case, the ball is just have a look at the way the players just now. They've also swelled the kit and 20 all 19 members of
Another goal at the Keepmoat Stadium. This is a third of the first half. Betty Glover.
I know, it's a good one, this, isn't it? Doncaster are back in it. It's Doncaster 1, Hull 2. Reece James pulling it back for the home flag with a lovely strike from far right into the back of the net.
I think this is going to be a salvage game. What the fuck have they done to the...
They're not doing their jobs properly.
Well, the problem he's got is they've had to change it to, it's a 4-4-1 now, and he will be the one. And he'll be up there alone a lot of the time. No, that's the problem that everyone's got in the team. They're going to have to chase so hard, close down so hard, and it's going to be difficult to get level. His job is not to go. His job is to do everything he can to hold that ball as long as he can to give his defenders in midfield some sort of rest.
League One leaders behind.
Oh, for fuck's sake, does me only when he does this.
Wigan 1, Lincoln 0. West Brom's keeper Sam Johnson's just going to hold on to the ball for a second or two.
Just having a look at Kyle Bartley there, who's struggling a little bit. Seems to have done something to his back. In that they've lost one centre back already, they could do without that at the moment, particularly the way they're running the play. You're playing against that sort of long ball, contact, ball straight in for centre back. You don't know the one, but maybe a second. Centre back to withdraw.
As soon as you said that, Pat, I looked at the substitutes list. There's not another recognised centre back on that bench. The West Brom. The fixture race at Ascot is underway.
Ali Surname forward here in the groove straight away. So much talk about tactics. Last time in the King George at Kempton he was held up, he ran terribly. Surname leads them over the second fence here from Dasher Drasher, who usually front runs himself, but Surname in the groove and leads by 3 or 4 lengths.
Lincoln have equalised quickly against Wigan. That's 1-1. Will Griggs on fire again. He scored for MK Dons. They lead Northampton Town by 2 goals to 1. We'll be back with John shortly. West Brom extremely dry send off. Have a look at the incident and the decision for yourself on Match of the Day tonight at 20 past 10 on BBC One. But like we said, Pat, there's it's clear as day, wasn't it?
Do you know the rules change?
It's been a good formation.
That's enough. Just watching Anya just now becoming very, very frustrated about it. And it's understandable to some degree, but he needs to calm down.
Maitland-Niles making a run in behind the Burnley defence. Wants the release from Gallagher. Doesn't do that. Gallagher holds on to it. Makes ground into the penalty area. Connor Townsend in support. Then Maitland-Niles gets it on the left-hand side. Little jump either side of the ball to try and throw off Josh Brownhill. Cross in is blocked. He's out for a West Brom corner, so this is important.
Yeah, they've done okay, since the sending off. But it is one of those games, and because of the styles of the teams and the way that...
Not much we can really do, is there? Let's be honest.
Many more gaps that when they're going to get... Obviously, they get advantage in set pieces because they've got an extra man, and when the centre back's going off. But it's one of those games, if you're a West Brom fan, this isn't dead and done. Absolutely not.
Slight change of approach for this set piece. Nick Pope and 4 defenders. The West Brom players are catching them in their green and yellow shirts, making the runs from the penalty spot.
sod it. That's the best we can do.
Corner in from Gallagher, headed away by Brownhill. Good powerful header. Maitland-Niles is onto it for West Brom in the inside right channel. Jet Cork's in front of him. Looks to go on the outside, turns back,
Yeah, what was that one?
to his own half. 8 minutes remaining in the first half. Still Burnley 0, West Brom 0, and we can get an update on Leicester Wasps in the Gallagher Premiership. Topsy Ojo.
Well, Leicester thought they'd scored again, but it was pulled back. We've had a red card. Try scorer Jasper Wiese sent off for an illegal clear-out to the head. The exact same incident we've seen through the Six Nations. So Leicester down to 14, but they still lead by 11 points to 3. Down at Sandy Park, the champion next to Chiefs looking to go back to the top of the table have equalised.
5-2.
Converted by Harvey Skinner, so it's Sandy
Oh,
Park
well, that makes you laugh, don't it?
On Leicester Wasps over on 5 Live Sports Extra. Boxing on 5 Live Sports Extra tonight. If that's your thing, European welterweight title fight. 4th goal.
I might play something a bit more livelier.
Doncaster 1, Hull 3. What a game this is turning
I think
out
that's
to be.
going to be the
This time, 20-year-old
what we're going to have to do.
Greaves with a goal, his first goal.
We saved the game. We'll put something on a bit livelier.
For this, thanks to a cross from Honeyman, he met it and he got it into the back of the net. Is Doncaster 1, Hull 3.
Burnley on the ball inside the West Brom half here at a very blustery Turf Moor. I can see Sean Dyche and Ian Wone away in the distance, deep in conversation, trying to work out how they're going to break down this West Brom defence and try and get their team to 30 Premier League points so far this season.
Let's have a look what we're going to play. I'm looking at the toilet.
Made the run, it's beyond him. Furlong's inside his own penalty area, lets the ball run, lets it run, and it goes out for a throw. 10 o'clock tonight on 5 Live Sports Extra, that boxing. Josh Kelly against David Avenesian at the Wembley Arena. Right, back to Ascot, the Betfair Ascot chase. Here's John Hunt.
And this
We're back in 2 seconds and we'll decide what we're going to play.
When we started off, Surname led and looked enthusiastic. His jumping was great. Between fences 8 and 11, he was taken on for the lead by Dashel Drasher. He seemed to resent it, and in no time at all, Surname dropped to the back of the field, and he's been pulled up. So Surname again blots his copybook. They turn for home. It's Dashel Drasher who's out in front here. This tough game, young horse from Jeremy Scott's yard, and now he's got Paul Nicholls, his second favourite. Master Tommy Tucker trying to come at him. They're clear of Benny's King over the second last. Dashel Drasher. Is this to be the biggest moment for jockey Matt Griffiths, who so often is in the sidelines? Now the eyes of the racing world fall on him as he comes towards the last. A Grade 1 victory, possibly his if he can get over this last. He's 5 lengths clear of Master Tommy Tucker. Dashel Drasher idled badly at that. He wanders away from it. Master Tommy Tucker breathes down his neck. Dashel Drasher comes again. He veers across Master Tommy Tucker there. He's wandering around all over the place. But Dashel Drasher for Jeremy Scott and jockey Matt Griffiths win the Grade 1 Ascot chase from Master Tommy Tucker in second place. Benny's King in third position. So many stories out of that, Ali. It's a marvellous moment for jockey Matt Griffiths, his first Grade 1 win. For Jeremy Scott, his second. Here he may have to survive a steward's inquiry because he definitely drifted across Master Tommy Tucker in the closing stages. My own view is that it made not a shadow of difference to the result. I reckon he'll keep it. But the big questions about Surname. This one-time great looked again a shadow of his former self this afternoon. Sensationally pulled up.
Thank you, John. Closing stages of the first half here at Turf Moor. You're listening to us on BBC Radio 5 Live, the World Service, and the BBC Sounds app. I'm sitting here with Pat Nevin. Burnley 0, West Brom 0. West Brom down to 10 men on the half hour. And I think the only notable thing while we were away at Ascot was James Tarkovsky's clearance, which would probably win the award for the highest clearance so far of the day, Pat, but it could still be challenged.
Hey, do you know what? If it was towards the side, it wouldn't have just cleared the Bob Lord standard. It wouldn't over the Jimmy McElroy stand, which is twice the height of it. It's odd. I mean, sometimes watching this, it doesn't look a different style from the way Manchester City play. It looks like a different sport. That's the way it is at the moment. But understandable, that's the way it is. Look, Burnley have got a problem. See me play against 10 men. The obvious thing to do is widen the pitch. You get your wide players out there and you stretch the defence. But if your game plan is to go direct one direction, straight towards your centre forwards, then you're not going to use that, are you? So I think they need to adapt it a little bit. I think the best thing they two can do is try and play a little bit more football, get it to the wide players such as Dwight McNeil, such as Brownhill on the right-hand side, and get crosses in from there and stretch the opposition defence. That's where they'll get more joy.
Closing in on half-time, as we are in all the 3 o'clock kickoffs up and down the land. Paddy Madden's equalised for Fleetwood against Charlton. That's 1-1. Callum MacDonald's done the same for Tranmere against Oldham. That game is also 1-1. Burnley 0, West Brom 0. Ashley Westwood comes bursting forward with the ball and then hits his pass between Brownhill and Lowton wide on the right-hand side, and it just goes straight out and behind for a West Brom goal kick. So they'll take their time. We're closing in on half-time. Sam Allardyce, as he's wont to do actually sometimes, Pat, he's slumping. He's in that sort of, you know, when he gets lower and lower, a bit like sort of late Saturday night watching the telly after you've had the takeaway and you're just getting lower and
it's so opposite to Son Dyche. She's out there saying, come on, change this, do this, move.
Yeah.
He's actually looking at his team. They've adapted their tactics. They're doing it exactly the way he wants them to do it. They actually look fairly comfortable just now. So he would almost take that. He would definitely take that at half-time. Whereas I'm sure Sean Dyche is thinking, wait a minute, home team, up against 10 men, have still created very, very little. In fact, you'd argue that West Brom over the piece have had the slightly better chances.
A couple of minutes left in the first half, and West Brom are warming to this task actually in the challenge. They've won themselves a free kick, 10 yards inside the Burnley half. Conor Gallagher sweeps back the hair. He's going to leave it for Mateus Pereira. Jay Rodriguez comes trotting back to help out the Burnley defenders. Pereira waits to take it, and the big men have gone forward. Carl Bartley's there, Diagne, the centre forward as well. Gallagher makes a run to the left. Pereira's not going to use him. Curling ball towards the far post. Bartley was jumping. Charlie Taylor was behind him. Bartley couldn't get anything on the ball, and it's gone out for a throw-in to Burnley. Another example of the wind gusting. It's one of those days as well where the corner flags are getting almost bent sideways.
So hard to read it. I mean, how often do you see a ball put in a decent area like that? Someone will get their head in it. No one could there because they couldn't read it because it was blowing everywhere.
Brownhill's caught by Townsend. Free kick for Burnley. Is it true, Pat, I mean, similar to golf, that the really great passers of a football would actually stand out even more in conditions like this? So if you're talking to someone like, I don't know, Gerard Hoddle, whoever, hitting those long passes.
Yeah, I mean, they absolutely could, but they need to get the time to do it. They would want to get the ball down and start, you know, understand that, OK, the 70-yard ball may not work, but I'll make sure the 40 or the 51 works, and I'll make my decisions in that way.
I'm going to shoot off.
Don't keep on trying
to
make
a small break, and I will be back shortly. Hope you all have a good day.
The right pass to play at the right time.
Right, 2 minutes of added time.
And I shall be back in about half an hour. Thank you all for